Hi there, this is Autumn Bear, acupuncturist, herbal enthusiast, foodie, dog lover, cartwheeler, handstander. Can't think of anything else. In theory, it was going to be really good, but I just couldn't come up with anything. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about antiperspirants, actually. This is something that it's one of those things that not everybody really talks about, but I find to be really important. And not even really so much about the ingredients in antiperspirant. For example, I know that there's a lot of aluminum in it. There's been some studies that have linked the aluminum to Alzheimer's and dementia. So there's always, obviously that's important and that information is out there. And I certainly support that, not using antiperspirant for that reason. But I would really like to talk more about our immune system and lymph drainage. I'm really big into the immune system. And antiperspirant, basically it blocks the movement of fluids, right? Our sweat. We try to sweat through the armpits. And it just so happens in the places that we sweat, we also happen to have the most amount of lymph nodes in that area. So when we use antiperspirant, we're blocking the movement of sweat, which is an excretion. It's basically a filtration system through the body. They're trying to excrete any toxins and any impurities so that we can continue to purify the body so that we're not holding on to any of that stuff. When we block the movement of those excretion regions, then ultimately we're plugging it up and we're causing a backup, so to speak. And you really don't want to have a backup in your lymph nodes because the lymph nodes are really important in filtering the blood and the fluids so that we don't have really toxic things floating around our body. And they're really important for things like cancer, right? We really need these lymph nodes to kind of gather and collect that stuff so it can then flush it out through the other modes of excretion through the body. So using antiperspirant is blocking the flow of excretion. It's potentially plugging up some of those lymph nodes and causing a backup drainage in the system, which means that things are not going to move properly. And, you don't want to have stagnation anywhere in the breast tissue. Who knows if that is really a big component in potentially creating stagnation, accumulation. We call it accumulations in the body in Chinese medicine. And, anytime you have an accumulation, the body starts to work on it. It might create heat in order to try to move that out. When heat is unsuccessful, it becomes inflammation. And that can be the precursor to cancer. Those are things, that we don't really want to mess with. So, for your overall health and for the movement of the lymph in your body and the wellness of your immune system, I really recommend that you use a non-antiperspirant deodorant. A lot of people don't like to sweat, but the reality is a little bit of sweating could really mean a big difference in your overall wellness and immune system over time. And, nobody really cares as long as you're not stinky. So if you're stinky, there's other ways to go about it. Essential oils, you can really, maybe that means that you need to make a diet change. There can be some bacteria that's in there that's needing to be flushed out. But the point is to say that there's other modes. So don't be afraid of a little sweat and get rid of that antiperspirant and try to find some natural deodorants that are really going to suit your needs.